Hi, this is Apex IFSA CEO Dr. Joe Leader. I'm here today with Simon Cuthbert. He's the Vice President of Licensing and Distribution for Anuvu. Simon, thank you so much for taking the time with us today.
Good to be here.
Well, so as we jump into this straight away, tell me, what is Anuvu doing differently to really take care of the marketplace, to take care of distribution and content? It's going to be an improvement for everyone.
Well, I think coming out of the pandemic, we really focused on efficiencies, both from a cost-saving perspective and technical. We spent the last 2 years investing in our open digital supply chain, $10 million. But now as we come out of the pandemic, it's no longer just about technology, it's about bringing that passion, that creativity back, both from our global team, but also using technology, using AI and some of the exciting data fields that we can splice in to make fun, creative decisions for each individual airline, and hopefully down to the customer level as personalization and some of these new things come to the forefront.
Well, as you said, you talked about, Simon, the digital supply chain. What does it genuinely enable, and how does that make it different for serving your customers?
Well, the legacy way of doing things is very, very manual. It works maybe if you have a small content server with 50 movies, but as we move to these multiple terabytes and HD 4K, the old way of doing things just doesn't work. Now we've moved everything into the cloud. We can pump out files at record speeds. We've had instances where we've had to deliver 150 movies in a couple of days, and we've done that. So that is a game changer, let alone if we wanted to upscale to HD across every single one of our airlines tomorrow, we could do that, and we're ready for 4K and the exciting things that the OEMs are bringing to the market.
Well, that's good to hear that you're ready for, from a 4K perspective and dynamic content change. How does it change, how does the supply chain development really impact the types of content that airlines can get and how they can get them more quickly?
Well, yeah, I think quick is the key thing. So a lot of suppliers are talking about delivering content over Wi-Fi faster. And that's actually something that we have done today. We've done this on one of our domestic carriers where a talk show was filmed one day, it was edited the next, and then it was actually delivered on board just a couple of weeks later. So this is a reality thanks to that digital supply chain. And if we can integrate with the OEMs and deliver things in, say, a month or a week or a day versus 3 months, we can bring more interesting content, be it live sport or recently live sport, news, and a lot of these great shows, like HBO shows, for example, where we get the rights very soon after the final episode. We can deliver them so they're near live once the series is done.
Well, since Apex EXPO is about the future of travel experience, especially as you look at what we're working towards over the next year, how has this, where do you envision us going over the next 5 years? How are we going to better take care of our customers? How are airlines going to be better served? What steps are going to transform the industry over the next half decade?
Yeah. For me, my hope is it's personalization, giving the passenger the ability to log into their IFE and tailor their experience to their needs, their viewing habits, their language, whatever it is, and bringing algorithms more to the forefront, like we have on the ground with services like Netflix. We want to bring that experience to the airlines under an airline brand, and give them this special, unique experience. And going back to the digital supply chain, we've implemented some industry standards like common IDs across all the content, metadata from IMDb and Box Office Mojo that's very rich that you can base algorithms and recommendation engines on to give that personalized experience. So when we both fly and we're sat next to each other, the movie at the top or the TV show at the top is different for both of us. I think that is a unique experience, and if it then can be tied to maybe bringing you a glass of champagne while you watch Sex and the City, then that's the dream, because an aircraft is better than the couch in many ways. I mean, we control the seat, we control the lighting for you, we control the content, and you can order food and beverage. So it's actually a really immersive experience that I think we can tie together in a very clever, enjoyable way.
That's really well said. Simon, if we're talking about passengers that speak different languages, or a passenger with disabilities that need a specific language closed caption on board, or someone who perhaps is blind that needs audio description. Are we talking about that level of personalization where people will be genuinely remembered for the individuals that they are?
Absolutely. I think in terms of audio description and also the GUIs and the software that we're seeing today becoming more accessible, that is definitely a priority for a lot of airlines. But in terms of what we can control and bring, more subtitling, more dubs, closed captions, audio description, these are all things we do today, but it makes a very minimal but great difference if you're a Japanese speaking passenger and you move the Japanese sub maybe even as a standard that you switch off if you don't need it. It's little touches like that to break the manual steps of the passengers that will elevate their experience.
That's perfect. And so, Simon, I really want to thank you for taking the time with us today.